What's this we got here? An FZ07? I believe so. What is going on today, guys? I'm over here at Northeast Georgia Motorsports over here in Houston, Georgia, and this is a 2015 FZ07. They got this thing on a trade-in, and it is, I know I want to ride all these new bikes, but I said, guys, I have got to ride this thing. This thing looks amazing. It's got a custom exhaust on it, custom windscreen. It has got a Yoshimura tag fender eliminator, if you will, and it's got this custom seat on it, however you say that. And they're like, yeah, hop on it, go take some miles on it. And the best thing about this thing, guys, is this bike is $54.99, and you can come buy this bike and take it home with you. This thing is amazing. This exhaust was actually imported from Japan, so I'm very excited to ride this bike. I know this bike has a lot of hype. This will be my first time on an FZ07, third or fourth time on a naked bike, and I'm very impressed with these bikes. They make great power. They have quite a bit of performance in them, and they look cool. They look cool, they sound cool. They're just an amazing package. So with this FZ07, you know, we've got the very similar braking system to that of like an R6, if you will. Dual piston calipers, two on each side, so it has plenty of braking power. You know, we've got this imported exhaust, which is going to make great power, and it's going to really make this bike sound amazing, because this is a twin parallel engine. So for those of you that need a breakdown of what that means, it is a 2-cylinder engine with 2 pistons side by side, and they go like this. Yamaha used their cross plane, I guess you could say, firing order. This is what this engine has to deliver smooth power, more power, if you will, and it just makes it sound absolutely amazing. That's why the R1s have that crazy sound. This bike, you know, it looks like it's on a trellis frame, but I think I was reading on it, it's not a true trellis, from my understanding. The engine is kind of a support member and all that, so it does feel very rigid, from what I understand. The only issue on this bike is, where's the key? And it's behind the LCD gauge cluster, which I don't know. That's kind of like a far away to, I don't know. It is what it is. Bike is actually really nice. You know, you've got your frame cover here, which looks really cool. You know, you've got a little bit of a trellis style frame sticking out. The engine looks great. You've got these bronze brass covers, which are really cool. Rear sets, I'm not too sure if these are stock or not, but they look great. This etched carbon with the vents and the radiator guards are super cool. It's a great looking bike, no doubt about that. Very slender. It's very, very compact, as I guess you could say. The only gripe I have right now is, what is this? Like, it's one bolt. They put it in the center, and it's like, for what? What purpose does this thing serve? I don't know. But let's hop on it and give it a ride. Low end torque feels really good too. Oh, this is super upright. There's a lot of room from the seat to the pegs, and it's almost like sitting in a chair. Handlebars are nice and back. I feel in a true upright position. Very neutral, very vertical. What I don't like about this is the clutch lever is a little further out than what I would like. The sound of this bike, it's very quiet, and it's an off sound, like, because it's got that cross plane design. I can't quite pinpoint on, it doesn't sound like anything else that's on the market. Trip F, Trip 2, Trip Z48. Air temperature is 84 degrees. Coolant's 170, something like that. 62 miles a gallon is what I'm getting. And the LCD clusters is nice. You know, it's full LCD. You got your RPM gauge at the bottom, gear indicator in the center. You've got your miles per gallon to the right, or miles per hour to the right. Got your fuel gauge on the top left, which is blinking. So I think I'm going to put about $3 in this thing. And it's very easy to read, and it is very centralized. It's not my line of sight by no means when I'm riding, and it shouldn't, but it is very pleasing to the eye. Seat height is a little tall, and it could be this seat, but stopping at a red light, I didn't expect it to be, I didn't expect to reach down that low. I think the seat height on this thing is almost 32 inches, like 31.7. I believe is the seat height. I almost feel like the bike is a smidge too tall for me. When you get to riding on it, you don't notice it, obviously. Guys, I promise when you buy this bike from Northeast Georgia Motorsports, you will not have to put gas in it. I knew it. These handlebars are up more because this actually has handlebar risers. So it's actually a little bit more comfy than what I would think. Anywho, so let's talk about this kill switch real quick, because this is just new technology for me. I've been living in the Stone Age. So we're in neutral, we got the kickstand up. You know, this little lever here, if all the way up is off, down one is on, and then holding the clutch, bring it down and it starts. And it is a cool function. I do like it a lot. Ooh, she sounds dirty. Sounds mean. The bike shifts good, has a good gearbox on it. Ooh, she's got the power. Oh yeah. And this bike is a little heavy under the steering. It is nimble, yeah, but it's not as nimble as I would imagine the bike to be, because it's very narrow, it's lighter, if you will. I don't know, I just thought it'd have a little bit more flickability left to right. Now, would this be a good beginner bike? Absolutely. I mean, it sounds great with an exhaust. You've got that room for aftermarket modifications if you wanted to, little bits and pieces to customize it. You know, it makes power, but it doesn't make too much. You know, it has a lot of torque, which is great. You know, that's what gets you up to speed. Horsepower is what makes you go fast, you know, on the top end. So the torque's really good. If you need to get out of traffic or you know, tight scenario, you can just open the throttle a little bit and really just, you know, get out of harm's way. Is this a good commuter bike? Absolutely. I mean, it's comfortable. Like I said, it's very comfortable, very neutral riding positioning. You know, my legs have plenty of room to move around. I would say though, if you're a taller rider, this tank has a bevel on it, and it could get in the way. You know, I can't say this is probably one of my favorite handling bikes. It's a little lacking on power on the top end. You know, it's made to make power on the low and mid range. But once it gets up into the RPMs, it's almost like it starves for more. You know, it makes power, but I'm not that impressed, to be honest. You know, let's see what the brakes do. Say that about a lot of bikes. Brakes are good. Can't complain there. Brakes feel really good. So again, it makes great power. It gets you up to speed. It's something you can rip on. But again, I don't know. I guess I expected it to have a little more. As a package, the bike is okay. You know, it could be a lot better. And again, let's talk about, you know, commuting. We're going a good 65 miles an hour. I'm getting a lot of wind in my face. I'm getting a lot of wind, not necessarily my chest, because this windscreen's actually doing its job, but I think because of this windscreen, it's coming up and hitting me right in the visor. So I would probably take that off if I was to buy this. But the bike feels very squishy and squirmy. It doesn't feel rigid and solid like a Yamaha should. I don't know. It's driving me nuts. I like the bike. I like the way it looks. Let's quit talking about the bad stuff about the bike, because I feel like that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm sorry. But again, it's not something I would buy. But the actual ride of the bike itself, it's actually, again, fairly smooth. The suspension isn't too tight. It's not too stiff. It gives me good feedback in the road, as in it doesn't feel every bump, but it goes over pretty good. If I was a newer rider, this is what I would look forward to. So guys, head on over to Northeast Georgia Motorsports. Check them out at ngmrides.com. This bike, they actually just lowered the price on this bike, $54.99. Check this bike out and pick it up, because again, if this is something you're in the market for, you're not going to be disappointed at all. Be sure to follow them on Instagram and all the social media pages. Tell them I sent you. Go get some merch from them. Go get some gloves, or even an FZ07. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first ride, first impressions of the 2015 FZ07 slightly modified. Thanks again for watching. Check some of my other videos out on the end screen, and until next time, I will see you on the next video.